My name is Daniel Harper, and I thought I had my life figured out. I grew up in a small town in Indiana, where my parents owned a modest hardware store. After years of studying and working my way up in the corporate world, I landed a stable job as a financial analyst in Chicago. I wasn't rich, but I had enough to live comfortably and help out my parents from time to time. But more than the money, I had something that felt far more valuable. I had someone I thought was the love of my life. Her name was Emily Carter. Emily was beautiful in that effortless way that didn't need much effort. She had shoulder-length blonde hair, a smile that could light up a room, and eyes that always seemed to understand me without words. We met at a friend's barbecue 3 years ago, and from the very first conversation, I knew she was different. She listened when I spoke. She remembered small details. She laughed at my dumb jokes. She seemed like the kind of person who genuinely cared, and for a man who had spent years prioritizing work over relationships, that meant everything. Our relationship grew quickly. Within a year, we moved into an apartment together. A year later, I proposed to her at Navy Pier with the Chicago skyline behind us. She cried, said yes, and hugged me so tightly that I thought my heart might burst. We spent months planning our wedding, picking out venues, and talking about our future children. Everyone around us believed we were perfect for each other. My parents adored her, and my friends would often joke that I had outkicked my coverage by landing someone like her. But as the saying goes, life has a cruel way of showing you truths you're not ready for. It all started on an ordinary Thursday evening. I came home early from work because a client meeting had been canceled. I thought I'd surprise Emily with takeout from her favorite Thai place. She wasn't home when I got there, which wasn't unusual. She often stayed late at her job as a graphic designer. I set the food on the counter and decided to tidy up the living room while I waited. As I was rearranging some books on the shelf, I noticed Emily's laptop was open on the coffee table. Normally, I wouldn't even think about touching it. I trusted her completely. But a small notification popped up on the screen. It was from her cloud storage app, something about a newly uploaded file. Out of pure absent-mindedness, I clicked on it. What I saw next shattered me in ways I didn't think possible. It was a video. At first, the thumbnail didn't give away much. But when I clicked play, my entire world came crashing down. There was Emily, in a setting I recognized as her friend's downtown apartment. But she wasn't alone. She was with another man. Someone I recognized immediately, Mark, a co-worker of hers I had met at a holiday party. The same man I once shook hands with and thanked for looking out for her at work. My hands trembled as I watched. My chest tightened and I felt my stomach twist. It wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't just a drunken lapse in judgment. It was deliberate. They were laughing, smiling, holding each other as if they shared something I thought was exclusive to us. I couldn't watch more than a minute before slamming the laptop shut. I sat there in silence, the world spinning around me, trying to process what I had just seen. The woman I planned to marry. The woman I told everything to. The woman who promised forever. She had betrayed me. For the next hour, I sat there staring at the wall. My mind ran in circles. Anger, heartbreak, confusion. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to pack my bags and disappear. But more than anything, I wanted to understand why. When Emily finally came home, she was cheerful. She placed her keys on the counter, kissed me on the cheek, and asked about dinner. I looked at her and almost broke down right then, but I held it in. I couldn't confront her in that moment. Not yet. Something inside me said, "Wait, don't rush. Be smart about this." So I played along. I smiled, we ate, and we even watched a show together. But inside, my soul was screaming. That night, when she fell asleep beside me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my heart heavy with betrayal. The next day, I made a decision that would change everything. Instead of confronting Emily directly, I decided to gather proof. I copied the video onto my phone, along with screenshots of the cloud storage logs. I wasn't sure why I felt the need to protect myself with evidence, but something told me I might need it. For the next few days, I pretended everything was fine. I kissed her goodbye in the mornings, texted her during lunch, and even helped her finalize some of our wedding details. But beneath the surface, I was planning. I wanted her betrayal exposed, not just to me, but to everyone who thought we were the perfect couple. The opportunity came 2 weeks later. Emily's parents had invited both of us to dinner at their home to celebrate the finalization of our wedding guest list. It was supposed to be a happy night, full of laughter and anticipation. Instead, it became the stage for a revelation no one expected. We sat around the table, plates full of food, glasses of wine clinking. Emily's father was talking about how proud he was of us, how he couldn't wait to walk her down the aisle. I smiled politely, but inside, my chest was burning. Finally, I couldn't hold it anymore. "Emily," I said, my voice steady but cold, "is there anything you want to tell me before we move forward with this wedding?" The room grew quiet. She looked at me, puzzled. "What do you mean?" I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table. With a few taps, I opened the video and pressed play. Gasps filled the room as the images played out. Emily's mother covered her mouth. Her father's face turned pale. And Emily, she froze, her eyes wide with shock. "Daniel, I can explain," she stammered. "No." I cut her off. "Don't explain to me. Explain to your parents. Explain to everyone who thought you were loyal and honest. Explain why you promised me forever while you were with someone else." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt nothing but emptiness. The truth was laid bare, and there was no undoing it. That night ended in chaos. Emily's parents were devastated. Emily begged me to forgive her, swearing it was a mistake, claiming it didn't mean anything. But I had already made up my mind. I walked out of their house, leaving behind not just a broken engagement, but an entire chapter of my life. Word spread quickly. Friends and family reached out, some in shock, some in sympathy. Emily tried calling me dozens of times, but I never answered. I blocked her on everything. I wasn't interested in closure or excuses. But here's the part that shocked everyone, even more than the betrayal itself. Instead of sinking into bitterness, instead of letting the betrayal define me, I chose something different. I decided to take control of my life again. I poured myself into my work, started exercising more, and even signed up for cooking classes, a hobby I had always wanted to try. Slowly, I rebuilt my life, piece by piece. And in the process, I found something I didn't expect: peace. Months later, I ran into Emily by chance at a coffee shop. She looked tired, worn down. She tried to smile, tried to strike up a conversation, but I kept it brief. There was nothing left to say. As I walked away, I realized something important. I didn't need revenge, and I didn't need answers. What I needed was freedom. And I had found it. My story spread among our circle of